Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of StarNotes, a brand new Huskie Media Podcast.
Where we are SparkNotes, but not the copyrighted version, and not the one you use to cheat.
Accurate.
We do not condone cheating.
Nope.
However, we do condone introducing yourself to a bunch of fun new books and franchises and movies that are coming out.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do here. I am Anna. I'm the digital managing editor here at the Northern Star, and I grew up reading a lot of these book series, watching a lot of these franchises, and I'm really stoked to be here.
Yeah, I am Angelina, and I am the editor-in-chief of the Northern Star, and I also grew up reading a lot of books and watching a lot of movies with many of the franchises that we will talk about on this podcast, and I'm really excited to share them.
And I'm Olivia. I'm the assistant opinion editor. I'm also really excited. I did a lot of reading as a kid, did a lot of writing as a kid, and a lot of the franchises and things we're going to talk about were a big part of that for me. Today, you know him, you love him, our favorite pen-wielding 12-year-old. We're going to talk about the Percy Jackson series. For those of you who do not know, Percy Jackson is a quick little story. Not quick. There are like a lot of books and a lot of series. This is not like a 3-minute endeavor. You're strapping in for a few months of these books. But it is about a 12-year-old and some of his pals, and they go on this quest to like save the entire world.
Each book is a slightly different quest.
Mhm.
They all culminate to one big mega quest.
It is a mega quest.
It's a mega quest. I can't wait until they film that.
Well,
If they
so
get to
good.
that point.
They should. They're receiving, like, amazing reviews.
Anyway.
They are.
Filming it. Yeah, the show's getting amazing reviews. I guarantee you, I guess I can't guarantee, but you've probably seen trailers or TikToks or YouTube videos or something on this show. And in case you were thinking of diving right into it, here's just some background and some things that might be nice to know before doing that. And in case you're out here just looking for more Percy Jackson content, this is the place for you. If you like Percy Jackson, you'll probably like a bunch of the other things we're going to talk about here. And if you don't know who he is, you also might like a lot of the other things we talk about here. They're all very different. You know about Percy Jackson before jumping into the show. You need to know there's a lot of Percy Jackson content out there, including the musical, including the movie, including all of the bajillion books. Basically, the Percy Jackson series, that's the one main series. It has 5 books, now 6 with that new book that he released. The first book is what the show is based off of. So in that first book, Percy does a lot of things. He fights a minotaur.
He does. He fights a pre-algebra teacher who's not actually a pre-algebra teacher.
Mrs. Dodds.
Dodds.
What else does he do? He goes into, for some reason there's this, the Lotus Casino. It's based off of a scene in the Odyssey for those who are interested in that sort of thing. But it's based off of a people and a land it's an island in the Odyssey. And for some reason this casino, they put it in Las Vegas, and this casino just lets 3 children just walk in. They don't care. They just let them scooch in.
They do.
So that's fun. There's a carnival, a creepy carnival. The Tunnel of Love, very, very fun ride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which happens before they get to the casino.
So basically, it's just a lot of really funny things happening from the narration of a sarcastic 12-year-old boy. It's great.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. And that is Percy Jackson in a nutshell. Just the books.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on just summarizing the books for someone who has not had experiences with this franchise?
He goes to a camp. He fights the Minotaur on his way to a camp for other people who have godparents and human parents, like one of each.
They're called demigods.
They're called demigods, half-bloods, whatever you prefer. What else does he do? Oh, they go to St. Louis. They go to St. Louis. They meet a lot of gods along the way.
Mm-hmm.
The counselors at this camp were perfectly fine with sending 3 children out on a cross-country journey, and they don't know where they're going. They're just like, go find a place. Have fun. And the counselors very well know that these kids might be killed.
Are there even counselors, or is it just
I don't know.
Dionysus? I think it's just Dionysus.
And
Chiron.
But the 2 people that run the camp, let's let kids walk right into danger. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, they've been doing it for hundreds of years, so, like, why not keep doing it?
So that's mildly ethically questionable, but not if you're a Greek god, goddess, or what have you.
Yeah, it's fine. Gods will just have more children.
If there are currently 6 episodes out, none of us have seen the 6th, but we have seen 1 through 5. So that is what we are basing this commentary review situation off of. I guess the best place to start when it comes to Percy Jackson is the original books. Cue thoughts on original books.
So the books were really good. They were aimed towards middle schoolers, and the author Rick Riordan. Everyone says it differently. But he wrote it, I believe, because his kids were dyslexic and had ADHD, and he wanted to have a hero that reflected that for them.
That's so cute.
I know.
I love that.
Right?
Oh.
I loved them as a kid.
The books?
I love the books. I love the books because as one thing I like about all of his Percy Jackson based series, there's 3 of them now, I think. But as Percy Jackson, Heroes of Olympus, Trials of Apollo, and as they progress, they get more mature and more mature and more mature. So like they sort of grow up with you as you read them, which is really nice. So if you're looking for a series that does have that sort of progression, highly recommend.
And they just released a new book, the one where they're all going to be in college, not long ago. I don't remember what it's called, but my friend bought it, and she liked it so far.
Percy Jackson and the Chalice of the Gods.
There it is.
That is what
That's
it's called.
One. Yeah, it's
So
been out.
The first Percy Jackson book came out in 2005, and then the last one came out in 2009. So fast forward over 10 years later, he releases another one.
I love it.
That's crazy.
I love it.
And we
That's
all
awesome.
came back for it.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I really love about the Percy Jackson series is how it has crossed generations. That's one of my favorite things about it. It started, first books came out in the early 2000s. The people who loved those books and read those books, they're adults. Some of them have kids now, and their kids are watching the shows, and their kids are growing up reading the books. And I think that's really cool. I think it's cool how it can cross a bunch of generations, and I think the show that's coming out, or it is in the process of coming out, is just a continuation of that. It's opening the world up to a whole new generation, a whole new group of people who might not necessarily read, but they like watching TV. So they're going to watch the Percy Jackson show and be introduced to these characters and be introduced to this world that we've all fallen in love with so much. Also, I think it's kind of cool because one of the main thing about the Percy Jackson books is the kids have dyslexia, which makes it hard to read. So I think it's kind of cool that for fans that might have struggled physically reading the books, there's now another medium for them to take the story in.
A big thing that I really liked about like all of the books with Percy Jackson was like I was a really big big series reader as a kid. So like Harry Potter was on that list. Divergent kind of, but like later.
Divergent all the way.
Really and the like Warrior Cat books from like
Of course.
Yep. And so I was really into those long series and those long character arcs, and it did a lot of those really well. And I really, really enjoyed that throughout the entire time. It was love that series. And then the move, like, I think to your point about like the different kinds of mediums. I mean, like I know we're getting there later, but like they made movies that were bad.
Oh my God. Oh dear.
I know. I'm gonna skip it, but we're gonna get there. And they made the musical, which is actually really good. I suggest giving it a listen. And then the show, and I think that like to make 4 things out of one thing tells you a lot about how people feel about it existing, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And to go off of the different generations interpreting it, I think personally you can really see that in the interpretation of Percy Jackson himself across the different mediums. Because like in the book, he's very much portrayed as like this troubled kid, and then they kind of tried to portray that in the first movie, but it was done kind of poorly. And then in the show, without giving away too much, he's just a bit more, you can tell like if you watch the trailer too, he's just a bit more angsty is the way I would describe it. But anyway, yeah, I think you can really see it in the interpretation of Percy Jackson across the different mediums, but I can't speak for the musical because I did not watch the musical.
I haven't seen who acted in it.
Musical, basically, take the plot, sing it.
Is there any like open dialogue?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So there's a lot of dialogue, but all of the major story beats have a song. It's a good old time.
Yeah.
I suggest reading these books or watching the show. Very good to binge or binge read.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a reader, I know a lot of people who haven't read anything else, but they loved these books. They're easy to read. They're really funny. They're fun. Please give them a try if you're not a reader. You could check out an ebook of them from somewhere. All the libraries have them. You could find them online, I bet you. There's a lot of places you can find these books, and they're really fun. People love them a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the books are, if you haven't read in a long time and you're looking to get back into it, it's a great series to start off with.
And people will not judge you for reading this particular middle grade series. Great musical. Listen to it.
Yes.
Hey, the movies. Can we talk about the movies?
Are we there yet?
Are we there yet? Let's talk about the movies. We're talking about the fucking movies. I'm going to bleep that out, I promise. But those movies deserve. Those movies are terrible. Now, this is my opinion. This is not, disclaimer, it's opinion, not objective fact. The movies. First of all, these horrible fucking pieces of shit. They didn't follow the plot of the book basically at all. They took a super minor part of the plot, which is Percy gets these 3 pearls to go do things that are spoilers, so I can't tell you. But they make the entire plot Percy just finding the 3 fucking pearls. That was like a couple chapters in the book, not the whole entire thing. So they make that the whole plot. Annabeth is not blonde. Now, I don't necessarily mind if a character doesn't look like the way they do in the book, if the actor can portray it right. But if it's something as simple as giving them a wig to make them blonde, they gave her contacts to change her eye color. They changed her hair in the second movie.
They changed her hair in the second movie.
Yeah, they dyed her hair.
They could have fixed it in the first one. I don't see why they didn't, because they did it.
Yeah, so
if they had stuck with their guns and like, no, she has straight brown hair, fine, whatever, if you're sticking with, but then you change it because you realize that you fucked up. That's just how it is. It doesn't follow the plot at all. They start at like 16. This is a series that is supposed to last, like, basically you're reading it as you're growing up. You're supposed to watch it as you grow up. You want to see Percy go from 12 to 13 to 14 to 15 to 16 to the Heroes of Olympus mess that happens right before he's college age. You want to watch that progression. You can't watch that progression if he starts off as 16. Where do you have to go? You have to change the entire prophecy. That's a big part of the plot. You might not know this if you're just watching the Percy Jackson show, but in this series there's this big important prophecy.
Which isn't even mentioned in the first movie.
No, but
is it not?
No,
it not yet. It might be.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
I don't know. Anyway, there's this big prophecy that is dependent on all of the characters' ages, and that doesn't work if they start at 16. So they made that an integral part of the movies. Not integral, but it is a pretty big part of the second one. And they have to completely change it because everybody is the wrong age. There's no way to do it. Rick Riordan himself said, no, these movies are bad. On Twitter, on his website, he's like, no, I don't know why. He said it better than that, with more words. But they're bad. They're just bad. The CGI is horrible. In the show, it's nice. I like it in the show.
Definitely
and
better.
the movies, oh my god. If you can't do it, just don't do it. Wait until the technology can catch up to you. Don't do it shittily along with all of your other shitty plot. I'm going to have a hell of a time bleeping all of this out. But it's bad. I don't like it. This is... No.
Okay, I'm going to speak in defense of like 3 things of the movie, and you're going to let me, okay? Number 1, it's the first movie or second one, but Percy's on the boat, and he's standing on the boat, and Luke goes, "What are you doing? Get out of my roof," or whatever the line is.
Yeah.
Great line. I don't care.
He's like, "Don't step on my roof."
Yeah, or whatever the line.
Like
Great line. Second one, Lotus Casino scene.
Iconic.
Yes.
Okay. I'll give you those 2.
Thank
those
you.
2 are good.
The third one is, for what they had to work with, the actors did a good job.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
I think even though they should have been younger, for what they chose to do, they chose good actors.
Yes.
That's my personal opinion.
I would have loved to see those actors in a Heroes of Olympus adaptation.
Yeah.
That's the right age.
Yeah.
How old were they when they filmed that, though? They were not 16.
So
no, they were like in their 20s, I think.
Know this. So Logan Lerman, who played Percy Jackson in the movies, when the first movie was released, he was 17 years old. And then Alexandra Daddario, I think is how you say her last name, she played Annabeth Chase, and when the first movie was released, she was 23. And Brandon T. Jackson played Grover. He was 25. and they were all playing 16-year-olds. So Logan Lerman, Percy Jackson, was the closest to his age, but again, they all should have been way younger.
Yeah.
And now you look at the show where they're casting actual kids to play
Yeah.
the roles of kids.
As they should.
There's this one of the scenes I know that was improvised is when in a first episode when they're playing capture the flag, and Percy's just sort of waiting for something to happen, and he just starts doing random things. That was the cameras were just rolling, and Walker was just hanging around on set waiting for everybody else to come, and that's just what he was doing. That kid is Percy.
Yeah, he was just chilling, and I think at one point he started flossing.
He did. It was great.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
Yeah, so Walker Scoble, who plays Percy Jackson now, he is currently 15 years old. So at the time of filming, he was probably like 13 or 14. And then Leah Jeffries, who plays Annabeth Chase, she is currently 14. So subtract a year or two for when it was actually filmed.
Yeah.
And then Arian Simardi he plays Grover, and he is 17. So again, subtract a year or two for when they are actually filmed. So they are definitely much closer to the age that they're supposed to be, which is like 13, I think, right?
Yeah. They're very well-adjusted 12 and 13-year-olds to be like, hey, so your parents are gods, and you got to go do this quest. You're going to probably get killed. Have fun. And they're like, all right.
Yeah.
And they just go.
I totally have a mental breakdown.
I will say in the show, the one thing that disappointed me is they didn't explode the bus. Yes, they exploded a train. Not the same as the bus exploding.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little sad. But the fact that that's one of my only complaints, solid. You heard my complaints about the movies. There was a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally would like to give the movies the benefit of the doubt. But,
Why?
I mean,
Why?
I'm not a massive fan of the movies. But I did go through a phase where I really liked the first movie. I never liked the second movie. I watched it once, I think, and never watched it again. I can't get behind the second movie. Sea of Monsters.
Yeah,
Let's just say there's a reason that they stopped.
Well, yeah, because like they couldn't even go on. They kind of screwed up the entire plot line. If they were to make a third movie, they wouldn't have been able to go off the books anymore.
No.
Because they screwed it up that much.
Yeah, so movies, bad.
Yeah.
Show, good.
Good so far.
Actors.
So far.
Good.
Actors good. Actors good before, too.
So, the cast of the new Percy Jackson TV show was actually at like a Comic-Con right before the show was being released, and the host of it actually received a message from Logan Lerman, the original Percy Jackson from the movies, and it was a really sweet message that he sent, and I can read it. Basically, Logan told the cast, he said, "The show looks amazing, and I can't wait to see you all crush it in your roles. You're making a lot of people happy bringing these characters to life. I can't imagine a better fit for Percy Jackson than Walker. You were so brilliant in The Atom Project. Hope you like eating blue food for the next few years, because I think you've got a hit show on your hands." I thought that was so sweet.
It's so cute.
The blue food thing, that is also a Percy Jackson reference. Percy Jackson
Oh, yeah.
loves blue food. He and his mom always make blue food, so that's just a big thing among fans of the books.
Yeah. I know a lot of people I saw on TikTok, when the first episode aired, they were making blue food in honor of Percy Jackson, and I thought that was really cute. I did not do that, unfortunately, because I'm not that much of a baker or a cook.
I didn't
But
either.
I thought it was really cute that other people were doing it.
So if you've been seeing a lot of stuff about the Percy Jackson show or this just whole Percy Jackson franchise and you had no idea what it was, well, now you know. And maybe you should go check it out because it is very fun. A lot of people highly recommend it.
Yeah, and new episodes are released at 6 p.m. every Tuesday until January 31st when the final episode is released. It's the 8th episode.
Is there anything else we want to talk about? Any rants, any thoughts, any...
I mean, I could just mention that I thought the trailer for the TV show was phenomenal.
Trailer was good.
It was a very well put together trailer, and the fact that they chose the song Riptide to be kind of like in the background, it was kind of like haunting and cinematic in the background. They slowed it way down. It was much deeper. I watched the trailer for the first time, and I got the chills when I heard that song. It was, for those of you who don't know, Percy's sword's name is Riptide. So
It's a pen.
It is a pen.
it's a pen,
It's
man.
just a regular ballpoint pen that has a cap. You take the cap off, it becomes a sword. You put the cap back on, it becomes a pen. And if you put the cap on the hilt of the sword, you can use it as a pen.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Percy discovers that in one of the books in a dangerous situation where he needs a pen. I think someone asks him, like, hey, can't you use it as a pen? He's like, I don't know. Can I use it as a pen? And he tries and it works.
Wonder if the ink ever runs out.
I think it might be Percy and Annabeth. And Annabeth is like, you have a pen, you dummy. Use it.
She's so smart.
I will say
She
in the
is.
show, I love Percy and Annabeth's dynamic.
I do
It's
too.
perfect.
It's great.
It's spot on. All of the disgruntledly working together to kind of liking each other that you love
Mm-hmm.
in any sort of series.
Yeah, it's pretty much what I pictured.
Okay, cool.
It's pretty much what I pictured when reading the books. To be
Yeah.
honest, they're dynamic, quite nice.
Leah, perfect Annabeth.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect
agree.
Annabeth.
I agree.
Her line delivery, her emotion, her sass,
Mm-hmm.
everything that I imagine Annabeth to ever be.
It's crazy. They were probably like 14 when they filmed this. It's crazy that they can pick up such big roles and do it so well. At 13, I could not have done that.
No, I was reading the books at 13.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
And if you already like Percy Jackson and Greek mythology, we have classes at NIU that you can take to learn more. And you can flex your Percy Jackson Greek mythology knowledge while you're there.
Very fun. You can feel smart.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just being in class, in like a classic mythology class, and someone asks, who's Poseidon? And you just raise your hand and say, Percy Jackson's father? Can you imagine being that kid?
Yeah, English 271. That is our Greek mythology course. It's in the English department. It runs pretty often. I've seen it in the course catalog quite a few times. There is also, every now and then, we have like different honor seminars, and one of the ones that has been done before is about books like the Aeneid, the Iliad, the Odyssey, basically all of the Greek epic poetry that technically isn't Greek mythology, but like goes alongside it. A lot of the Greek myths can be found in these stories.
It's in May.
Enrollment opens.
You know what was in May?
I lied. It's probably like April. Enrollment opens in April.
Enrollment opens. Maybe.
Look it up. We should include that.
Yeah.
That would be really fun.
Yeah, if you don't go to NIU, I guarantee that, I guess I can't guarantee. If you don't go to NIU, your campus probably has some similar courses, similar things going on there. Search Greek mythology courses, search Greek mythology, search epic poetry, search Homer, search all of the things, and you might find something cool. Also, college campuses tend to have really weird clubs. NIU doesn't have a Greek mythology club, but yeah, if you can find a college that has a Greek mythology club.
We don't have a Greek mythology
I don't think
club?
we do. If you can find one, drop it in the comments. I'm very curious. I'd love to know.
Oh, I
Real quick.
completely forgot we were there.
So if you don't go to NIU and your school doesn't have mythology classes, NIU enrollment opens mid-March and is open until August 1st.
Transfer here. We're kind of fun.
Yeah,
you could work
yeah.
at the Northern
You could work
Star.
here. Come work here. All the seniors are graduating. We need people.
Yeah.
As a not senior, please. Yeah.
But if you have any thoughts on the Percy Jackson show, anything about the franchise, or anything at all, thoughts, opinions, questions, drop them in the comments. We'd love to see what you all are thinking.
Yeah. Or if there are new releases that you know of that you want us to cover,
Yeah.
throw them in the comments.